the smell of coffee and hypocrisy. Like, the levels of hypocrisy. It's beyond that, really, at this point. It's like if you were writing a show and it's for comedy, you're writing a comedy show, and you're like, there's no way we can outdo how funny this is, how bizarre, how absolutely insane this is. Just, wow, that's really great. I can't, I will be surprised by nothing. Yet you wake up and the next day you're surprised by it. It's funny, I often will defend the idea of people that are actors and the media, Hollywood, whatever. I mean, actors, not necessarily the media. I know that's the same thing. It's a little different most of the time, but because I've done a long video on that, explaining the difference between the Meads and Hollywood. Although the Meads have overtaken Hollywood. That's a very long story that, if you haven't seen it, I'll try to find that and post that for you. So your boy, Arnold, last name is actually a joke about something, if you look up what his last name means. Yeah, go have fun with that one. I think you probably figured that one out right off the bat. Huh? He used to be a champion of freedom. Yeah. Right? Wasn't that his whole thing? Didn't he wear a whole like American outfit, like shirt, flag, all the always talk about like the freedoms and the freedoms that he had, that he has, smoking cigars and everybody else is just a girly man, pussy, whatever. And now he comes out and told everybody to screw your freedoms, that you're all schmucks. I love it. It's just magic. I love opinion pop science, opinion-based pop science. I love that stuff. Isn't that the greatest? And I also love logical fallacies. Logical fallacies, we do. The moving of the goalpost is a big one they use all the time. That one's an easy one to do. And so, good morning. Who's up in here? What's up, Andy Z? Oh, Andy, my original YouTubes, or my original Instagrams, can't access them anymore. Which is really funny because I can't even shut it down. I can't even shut my other channels down. Not that I would, because I don't mind the pictures are up there, but I can't access them. I do have a new one, and it's easy to contact me there. Zen.atman. Pretty simple. Rather than the old CasApp, and then I had two more after that, and they just kept shutting them off or something. I don't know. Wonder why. And then this was shut down a couple times. Freedoms. Beach and all that stuff. No. And there's always, for anybody else here, you can contact me. That's my email, theoluminous, meaning God, light, TheoLuminous @gmail.com. And that's for, one-on-ones, or if you have specific questions or whatever. And as far as everybody knows here, and if you don't know, you can, because I know you'd like to, donate to me, because I provide very high-level knowledge about all sorts of things, health, well-being, goofiness, whatever you need to know. I mean, there's a etymology, history, whatever. And that you can donate, or if you need a one-on-one for something health-related that you don't want to talk about on here. That's at the Illuminous, and my PayPal, excuse me, PayPal, Cash App, whatever, that's beneath the description box. TsarXen, and the other one is my Venmo or whatever. So yeah, I appreciate that, because got to keep paying for this thing and this roof. Yeah, I just get up out of bed and this is what I look like. So if you see me kind of playing around with my, I didn't go check in the mirror, see if I looked correct. What's up, Rompy? Top of the morning to you. Andy, I can't speak to uh, your policies. I do know the larger policies, which I'm pretty sure are covered under perhaps Nuremberg, perhaps some guidelines about A, could be religious, B, could be you can't force someone to take, you can't medically force someone to do something. I think there's some larger international. I'm not going to speak to that on here. So there's so many people that have already discussed that, and you can find that information. However, I will not speak to the idea of what those are specifically, especially if it's not American, United States. I know some of the ideas and things, but you know what I'm saying. It's easy enough to find. You just got to get outside of using the Googles and get outside of using. I mean, there's all sorts of. I don't know what. There's lots of groups on, like say. What the hell's the other name that everybody goes to? What's the other thing called? I don't know. There's like groups on other chat things, chat channels that have people have channels that it's not quite. It's kind of like a cross between Instagram and a chatty app. Okay, I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. But anyways, there's lots of groups that you'll find plenty of information on it. Or go to like those, brand new tube stuff like that. The Onion? No, that's a joke website, right? But it's pretty funny. The Onion? Pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this other than just be like, I just think it's just the whole world is a stage. What a joke things are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, it was interesting because his point was that when you're affecting other people, to even follow this here, I think anybody here is smart enough to follow what I'm saying because this is Arnold's words or whatever, however he does Arnold, whatever how the fuck he says it, Arnold. That when whatever you're doing is affecting other people, that's not good, right? That's not when it's not affecting them in a positive way, right? And then I just have to go, let's just put a reflective mirror up to yourself over here. Hollywood, news media, Arnold. All the things that they're saying and doing are affecting people in a pretty negative way, considering that they're using pop information that isn't verifiable or is like, if you have 10 scientific studies, you don't get to cherry pick what you want to use because it supports your narrative. You have to put those against each other and say, well, why is this one? And then do a secondary study into each one of them, and that would take, you know, research. Which, oddly enough, the goofy ones that live in their mom's basements, and all of these people that have that are doing research. Oh, where'd you get that from? The internet? Where'd you get that from? The news media? Like, where do you think these people that are getting their information that are seeding it to you? They didn't do the research. They're not science. They're just repeating what they were told. And who? So what's the narrative delivered from? High as a bidder. That's also. I would suggest Arnie Boy, Arnie Bati Boy. He goes ahead and considers what he's saying as a mirror to himself. That when you're doing things that are affecting other people, like if you're doing it on a micro scale, like you have like interpersonal relationships with people, and like everybody, bad days, this and that. Yeah, this is how life works. But if you're say, you're in media, you're Hollywood, you have a little bit more responsibility, especially when you're affecting the lives of millions, and you're doing it in a very negative way. Because I'm not sure if he's even considered doing any research whatsoever into the masks and everything else, as well as the mental health, the mental emotional health of people, the families that are tore apart because of what the divide that it's caused in people's. I mean, I know I've known plenty of people that have either gotten very sick because of the thing, and other people that have, and I know other people that have literally like the family decided it was a good idea, and they said that's a bad idea, and they don't even interact. Or even in some cases, like I knew some kids in like college. They were coming home from college, and parents said, well, "This is what you got to do," and they said, "What? This is not this bad idea." And they said, "Well, you can't be here then." Coming out of college, no job opportunities, get out of the house because you don't have the thing that we were sold. Very, very confusing. So I mean, it's they who make the money make the rules kind of thing. Like an order of power that people want to understand. Um, People say money will give you power. Yes, but information technology, the flow of information is a step above the use of money. It's like if you give me the control of the banks, I'll control your country. Yes, but if you just had control of the banks, or I had control of the media, who wins? The media, because the media could alter public perception of anything. By altering public perception, you can change the perception of what the bank is and what its value is. The bank can't do anything about controlling the people's perception and what they believe. So it's like information, and now it's information, science, scientism, and religion kind of are right there, but they're doing the same thing. Like good science and good science and good religion. People that have done, it's not scientism and it's not religious fundamentalism, but it's like spirituality, or it's people that do research and do the scientific method. Those are great, but anyways, those things kind of sit right beneath all flow of information. Those two, and then currency, banking, institutions, things like that. Um, yeah, and of course, naturally, some it might just think about it this way. You could have something wrong with your heart condition, but it doesn't show as symptomatic. When they say asymptomatic, it just means you have a dilemma, but it doesn't. It's not. It's not going to just. It's not going to just show. It takes a while. If you had a problem with your kidneys, you're not going to just die immediately. You have to. The problem will have to become exasperated before it starts to you get something wrong with your skin or whatever. So same thing I think with that. Some people do because they're already sick. They already have a compromised immunity to anything. They already have, and then you have the energetics of just in general. This is life, and here are my emotions, and I'm releasing all these chemicals into my body, serotonin, and this and that. I'm eating these types of foods, and I have I have these antibodies and these antigens, having a little battle in my body. Good thing I have more of these to quell this stuff. But what if you don't have those? That's kind of the game. And then all of a sudden, then the rest of the tox, like how quickly can your body rid itself of toxic material? How fast can you digest anything? There's that too. And also just to be, and also to be more clear, if someone is doing a test, there's always called the placebo. So remember, a lot of these are placebo. You just are not informed of that. It's people are receiving placebo. And also, even if it wasn't, it would have a different effect on different people. So we have to put that into there. What's up, Ninja? Um, is it safe to snort coca leaf powder? I, I, I can't give you. Think about anything else. People do rape or like tobacco or there's all sorts of things. I mean, if you can do the version that's been turned into some white powder on the streets, I don't see why not. But I wouldn't give advice to do that because I don't know the quality, how much, I don't know what the, I would just say look into documentaries. Look into South America. There's a lot of documentaries on coca leaf and its use in either just everyday life, especially high elevation. People that live in high elevations, they chew on coca leaf. So chewing it is one way, and I think it probably works better to chew it because the acids break down some of the alkaloids to put into your body. I couldn't imagine how well that would work going through the mucosal passages. I think that's why they do. That's why they process it to get it to the crystal forms of what's in there, so you get the powder, which would be you take all these leaves and all of a sudden you have this much powder. Could that be just seem like extra? You hear what I'm saying? So I think the best route would probably be tea or chewing on it. Oh my gosh, Parsifal's here. I haven't seen you in a bit, man. How's life? Good to see you, buddy. I'm just sitting here getting ripped on some coffee, bro. Woohoo! Coffee and snacks, dude. I think I'm gonna have a breakfast. I really want to know, how do I stay so awesome and healthy? Cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and coffee for breakfast. I'm really not gonna eat those for breakfast, but maybe. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna eat until way later because it's hot out and I want to go outside. And if I eat and go out, I'm just gonna sweat profusely. I don't need all that. But good, man. That's good. I think people should take a healthy break from the whole online, the social media, the whole thing. Yeah, man. I do short stints of that. I probably it would serve better if I did it for longer. But considering I don't live in I live in an area where it's kind of, I'm still in cityscape. It does have a day-to-day kind of, I don't know. I still got to use it now and then. And also, my paycheck kind of relies on having a little bit of what the hell's going on in the goofy clown world or whatever that we're living in. I've been considering and waiting for some people that they were all about getting some property and doing the I mean, I think I give him a lot of thought to it. It's just like I would want, I couldn't, I just wouldn't do it by myself. If there was enough people, plenty of people like, yeah, I want to do that. I was like, well, let's do it. But how do you organize it? I've said this 1,000 times to people, and everybody's like, yeah, I'm down, and then just nothing comes to fruition of it. I'm like, okay, well, so you live in this city, you live in this city. They say, well, where do you want to do this? How are we going to organize it? And then it goes, wah wah wah. It turns into nothing. I mean, yeah, I guess if I guess it's dependent on how you think the world's going to play out as a totality, and how much you like technology, and how much you want to be completely going and doing rain dances in the mud. Or if you think there's a zombie apocalypse, or if there's going to be a shift in the energies, or whatever's going on. That's dependent on, like, if you want to, live life farming at a cabin, or if you think still the city, at least some aspects of it are worth. Is it worth is the flame worth the candle, as they say? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I would. What is the meaning of the word meaning? It's like kind of, I mean, I know you're kind of asking a tongue-in-cheek, I suppose, but when you think about mathematics, a mean is a median, is somewhat of an average. And why is it so mean? I think it's mean because it's usually associated with numbers, and numbers are numbing. In the middle of numbers has got to be the meanest thing, like, the fuck do you, when somebody, what the fuck do you mean? Well, I don't know. What do you think I mean? Then do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? What's up, Eric? Yeah, I mean, it's a say meaning. Okay, so here's how you can kind of, what is the meaning of a domicile, a house, a structure? There is the meaning to it. You could define its purpose, and I think purpose might run uh, analogous to its meaning and its purpose. It offers shelter from rain and put your items in it and da da da. It's like a chair. Its meaning is I say close enough and equivalent to purpose. A chair you sit on. Yes, can it be a piece of art and can a chair do a million different functions? Sure. It could serve, if you were small enough, it could serve as a domicile. It could be a shelter. There was a guy. There's an awesome picture. He couldn't get a permit for whatever reason, somewhere in Australia or somewhere. I don't remember. Maybe in Middle America. They wouldn't give him a permit to build his cows a shelter in the middle of the field. I don't know why. I don't know what the whole story was. And so he goes, okay, I can't build a housing structure. Like I can't build no. So he built a chair, a giant chair. And he said it's a chair. It could do anything about it. Although it did serve the purpose of being a shelter from the shade for all the cows and things. Or a shelter from the shade, shelter from the sun. Yeah. It's like when everything becomes art, it can be anything. It's anything you want it to be. It's like anything's a dildo if you try hard enough. It's that is the dilemma with certain people. Everybody wants to be so abstract and so liberal with definition of things that things then s- seek towards having no definition whatsoever, purposeless. Where if you go in the other way and you're too direct, you go, oh, the only service and purpose of a certain object is one thing specifically. Like a pen is to write something. But then I get very different with it. I say, well, a pen, I could use it as an instrument of stabbing someone. I could use it as, I use a toothpick. I don't know why you do that. You could use it as you could prop something open. It could be a million different things, right? Well, that's creativity, but people, they use that in a sense to construct very. I wonder if that's what goes on in someone's mind. That is it a compulsive liar, like a so someone that is you got psychopaths and you got sociopaths. Sociopaths are compulsive liars, right? Because there's compulsive liars and then there's the other ones. Pathological liars are yes. Pathological liars are is that how their mind works? They're just so absurdly abstract and bizarre with everything they create in their mind that it becomes anything they want it to be. Perhaps. I don't know. Hmm. Yes, and the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath is basically the essence of a psychopath has a purpose and it's purpose driven. You do one thing and it's kind of like OCD. Or a sociopath tends towards they will obtain their objective using all sorts of methods that usually include um, an obsession with lying. They're that's all they do. Sociopaths tend towards that. Which has got to be interesting, and the whole purpose of being in Hollywood, right? Hollywood, like the idea of being an actor. Yeah, because I've known people that are actors, and I'm like, is everything you do an actor? Like, oh, I fucking hate that question. I was like, well, and think about it. You when you're in film, okay, we accept that, right? But then when people are trying to get a, and this goes for everybody else too with normal jobs. Don't think it is. It extends to other jobs too. If you're happy in your job, then you can have a personal life outside of it. That you're not. There's no objective to be obtained. You have a job, or you have work or whatever. But if you're trying to get a job in a film or something, right? You're gonna go act. You're gonna act completely different. So you're gonna put on your mask, put on your big lie suit, put on your whole, and just go out and try to like. Well, I'm not really a, you know, not really working at Starbucks. This is what I'm working on. Here's my, yeah. Hey, no, you kind of work at Starbucks. Let's just get it. You're a waitress. I get it. And you're gonna act for a little while, doing something else before you get this job. Don't go west, young man. So how's the world besides that? That's I don't know. Oh, I do know why. Because there's this dude. His name is Carl Vernon. And if you don't know who Carl Vernon is, great dude, very hilarious. And he does these short 5 to 10 minute. He does like 4 or 5 of them in the morning. Not every day, but most days. He's an author. I think he's a Scotsman. No, Irishman, Englishman, one of those. I get it. The UK and all this. I get it. Anyway, so he had a post this morning about your boy Arnie Schwarzenegger, and I just found that I just found that so man. Is anybody out there? Is there anybody out there left that had any authenticity, any truth to them? And when you're in that place of that much power, like how much? Like, don't you just kind of throw like when you do all of that? Don't you just throw away all credibility? But no, you don't though, because everybody that likes, Die Hard or not Die Hard or whatever, the Replacements. I wonder if that happened. Replacements, because you realize, does anybody know this? Dude, Rocky Balboa. You know who Rocky was? The guy who played Rocky. Go look at some of his early films, and then you'll see a place where Sylvester Stallone. Nah, same dude. And he was in a movie along with a bunch of other actors that are called the Replacements. A lot of people are into this theory, an idea, which I think is pretty. I don't know if it happens all of the time, but it seems to have happened quite a few times where they just replace a part to. They don't want to get rid of the actor's archetype, so they just put the double in. And that's because if they get rid of that energy, then they have to replace it with a new one, and that's a whole build up and transition. So they just keep so some of these actors could have just. They could have, there's all sorts of ways people have. They could have gotten a car accident. Could have fallen down a mountain. They could have, all sorts of things could have happened. They could have died. So then they got replaced. I think that, or maybe their career was over. They're like, 5-year contract, and then I'm off to the island over there where nobody knows it exists, and I'll give you these movies. I'm out of here. And then they just replace the character. Ninja. Well, I probably, and I'm very, 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 very upset about this. They already ruined Mardi Gras, and they ruined these festivals last year. And then the numbers they're spouting out, because I see them do it. They did it all over the country at the same time, and they just how to lie with statistics. Yeah, and yet I go out and I still see the same people. I've seen the same people everywhere, and nothing changed. I don't know. I'd still only 1 or 2 people I know ever would. Like, Where are all these? Yeah, they were supposed to be the red dress run. They canceled that. That's really hilarious. It's like called the running. It's like they're running the Bulls, the red dress run, and they canceled White Linen Night. What's up, Jeremiah? What's up, Michael? All right, Michael Seraphin. Yeah. Yeah, well, as long as my angel is in this vodka and lemonade, I think I'll be okay. So what else are we getting to? Yeah, they're canceling it. It's like when they talk about cancel culture, they're literally canceling the culture. Like I don't know what happened. Like for cities, I've said this so many times about smaller towns and places, and they weren't busy with influx of tourists, and it wasn't reliant on service industry and music and whatever. Like I could see how life wouldn't have changed too much. But then in places that were very, very service industry oriented and lots of travel, like I wonder, like how did and then because small businesses in these places, how do they come back if they do? And and I mean, no, I've seen plenty of small businesses vanish and then get bought by bigger businesses. What are they, so they're already just planning to open back up? So then every store is Starbucks. Like, not only is there Starbucks everywhere already, now it's like Starbucks squared and selling coffee and they sell like sweaters. I don't know. Like, what do you? If the world is just a giant Starbucks, we just call it what it is. It was one giant corporation. Yeah, but I do wonder about the culture. Like, what? Why would you want to erase some of the cultures? I can see, like, if you made yogurt and you got some crazy weird bacteria culture in there and it's destroying the yogurt, yeah, I could see how, putting some more of the good culture in there would. But the cultures that seem to be getting ruined are the ones that are where all of the flavor and the spice and the joy and the music and the art and the happiness. Destroying the music culture of New Orleans. Do you understand? Like, that would be like saying if you want to just get rid of New York City. That's like getting rid of New York City from America. You know what I mean? Like getting rid of go to go to McDonald's and get rid of hamburgers. Go to coffee shop and get rid of coffee. That's essentially what they're doing. Like, so what do all the people do? How do the people? It's crazy, man. And it's like 100 degrees out. It was like 97 the other day. And I was at the park and people were wearing masks at the park running. Like I can't wait to just see, because it'll be awesome to see when they're running around and they just fall out, because they will, whether from bronchial infection or because it's too hot and they can't breathe and their body temperature has peaked and they have a heart attack or a brain aneurysm or a stroke or something. I'm surprised it hasn't already happened. It probably has, and I just wasn't. Ninja, no, I've heard nothing about that. I can't even imagine that. But in this world, who knows anymore? I don't, what are people gonna do? I know most people say not gonna happen, won't accept it. It seems to be if everyone that says no, not gonna happen, if everyone sticks to that, they can't do anything about it, because it would literally destroy Like I'm not talking about just kind of. It would destroy the entire infrastructure of the social, and it would break down the entire like the whole thing. We would go. There would be all out, full on. Like no, it's already stupid enough, and they can get some people to abide by certain things. But I see places where they've inlet it. You see all these shops that people are walking the streets, but then they got these people like one person in a cafe, and they're like, where's your star or your badge? Or wait, didn't they do that during? Wasn't there something going on during one of the wars or something? And they did that for all the people that were. Wasn't that pretty similar? I think, yeah. That didn't seem to work out too well for on the grand stage of the world, right? Nor is that would be frowned on today. Yet people are open arms. That's a great idea. And it's funny whenever you discuss any of this part of this whole thing with people, they can't see it. They can't even see it. Well, who knows? What should I do today? You guys got any directions to go with this conversation? I'm trying to lighten it up and get off of because I discussed these ideas so many times. I'd rather take it a different direction. Anything else you guys want to? Gary, fucking thank you, man. I appreciate it. It always thank you to everybody that does, because it's always like right on time. I'm like I'm just picking myself up by my bootstraps, I'm like, it's like, yeah, like yesterday I was eating I was eating bean soup. You know what I mean? Not that I mind. I'm not like out here like, oh, it's a potato famine. It's not like that. Like, if you see all the cool things, I'm like, you have an okay life. Like, these things are all already here. These were gifts a long time ago. I'm gonna sell all my gifts. Living here like with a candle and squalor. But yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like what? Okay, I like to talk about solutions. That was the beginning of whenever I used to make videos before well, I mean, I still do, but I used to too. And it was always solution oriented, and now it just doesn't, like, the solutions are different now, because it doesn't seem like they're giving you an unsolvable problem, like they're giving you like a mathematical conundrum that is 2x minus 8 plus 7 equals 350. It's not possible. It's not going to work. There's no numbers you can put there. They're giving you that. That's the problem they're giving you. So normally they say, in the poison is the panacea, in the problem is the solution. And if they're giving you a problem that has no solution, then they're also suggesting that there's not a problem. Because there would be a solution if there was a problem, but they're inventing one. It's like the invention of. It's like the idea, the invention of lying. Like, there's no. They're giving you. I just must restate. They're giving you a math problem that doesn't have an answer. Like all of this. Like what do you? Like, wait, you don't even have to deal with the actual people that are saying the shit. They just say it, and then everybody around you is like, because they're so infected and affected and brain numbed that you have to deal with them going, where's your mask? Where's your mask? Like, and because you just don't, like, well, I want to go and have that argument every day. What am I gonna do? Do I need to go to the grocery store every day? No. Would I rather just go get fresh fruits and vegetables and go shopping when I want to, like Maybe every other day. Yes, but then what's my solution? Then go to the store just so I don't have to have that nonsensical interaction with brain dead people, and I go there once a week, or get delivery of like just canned goods that I don't want. So you gotta deal with like third tier idiots. That's the dilemma. Yeah. See, for me, it's not the mental slavery. It's just you can't when you calmly respond to people that pisses them off. You can't be violent and aggress at them. You can just stand your whatever. But then I've just seen it happen to people, and it's happened to me a couple times with the mask thingy, and it's just like, but then you're like arguing with like popular the popular narrative, which is like, okay, there's probably three people in here that know exactly what I know, but they're not gonna get. It's like, I don't got time for this shit today. You know those little moot. You know those times where it's like it's the principle. It's not the actual thing. Like somebody the other day, like I don't know, it was a delivery and they screwed me on the delivery by a few bucks. But it wasn't the person's fault, but it was the service's fault. And I spent 45 minutes of my time trying to fix a very small dollar amount. But I just tried to fix it because it was the principle of getting overcharged on something that I shouldn't have been overcharged on. But it took me more effort than it was worth. It was like, that's what you have to deal with every day now. Like how much effort do you want to put into dealing with this, or do you just go, fine, okay. And so what is the solution? What is the happy medium? Yeah, new caste system. I mean, it's always been there. It's always been a disguised caste system. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. But Rabe, people don't see. Most people, you can say, what was the Tuskegee experiments? What does anybody remember the Stanford experiment? Stanford experiment's pretty. I mean, even though they've done a lot, but that's just classically called the Stanford experiment, the Tuskegee. Uh, Most people go, I don't know. You have a computer in front of you. No one's ever even suggested these things to you. You didn't, even if you didn't take, but you're not going to learn about those in high school. Maybe you didn't go to college, but no one ever, not even. Ask most people in the melanated community, they'll probably know of what it is, but they don't really know. And even if they did, can they apply it to what's going on right now? Most can, but how about the Stanford experiments? That's what's happening on a level right now. That's a huge one. Anybody know? What's up? What's up, Mr. Gamble? What up, G? Ah, Gary, there you go. Even deeper. I see. I didn't know that. I didn't know, and they don't even understand what those letters mean, nor the other ones, and they don't even half the things they put out so much paperwork and so much on their website, whatever. Their information's there. You can find exactly about what's going on even now. It's there, but the average person has enough time to go through all that shit. So to find that, you have to go through other sources. But that's gonna, then you got to go. Okay, then you got to backtrack the sources. But usually you can find it if you really wanted to. But no, you don't want to find that because you'd rather just stick with like, oh, it's easier. They'll just tell you running. Why would they lie on the TV? What's up, Angel Wings? Hey, that's hey, Angel. That's exactly correct. A canning steam pot. That's funny. I was looking at a distiller yesterday for distilling alcohol, and funny enough, and y'all should look into this. I was a pot distiller for alcohol. So if I get a distiller for water, my mega home, 1 gallon it cost me $200. You could get one for 100 that's okay. It does a gallon of water. Um, but I was looking at 5 to 10 gallon distillers, which you can distill water, wine, beer, whatever, not beer, water, wine, alcohol in, and it was only like $120, and it was a whole nice system with a cooler, an evaporator, da 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 da, and all nice. So just to look into that, just in case, because you don't just got to make alcohol, you can do water, and it's a much bigger setup, and you can use any heat source you want. You could use electric stove, you could use a fire, you could use wood. So look into it. Amazon distillers, not water distillers, but I think what do you put in, alcohol distiller, I guess, vodka distiller. Still, if freedom stick and freedom seeds, I got a stick for you. Yeah, Angel, I hear you on that. I mean, you're right. I mean, isn't that what your boy said? Walt Whitman, was it Whitman that said it most clearly? I'm trying to think who it was. And he just said, if it's my body and I choose to put whatever I want in it, any kind of drugs, or he was talking about plant life and drugs, and then I so shall choose. This is my temple. This is all mine inside of here. You do not get to choose that. I know, obviously, that's a very clunky way of saying it, but I don't know the quote off the top of my head. Nice, Gary. Yeah, I mean, but seriously, if you don't have one, do 100, $150. There was like 12 gallon one. It's a whole setup, three pots, cooler thing. It's got a gauge on there, nice seals on it, really good reviews. I mean, obviously, removing the fluoride first is going to be the way to go. I can't see much reason to put the fluoride into your body, because it depends on where it's going to get stored. I mean, there's certain things you could put in your body and get away with, but as much as they put fluoride on this, oh my God, fluoride is the devil, just like they do with mercury. First of all, I don't think mercury is as bad as they say. Just like I don't believe radioactive material, because there's all sorts of old videos from a dude that plays with it and eats radioactive material, who was like head of nuclear physicist something, all these programs, that was like, it's all mad scammy. Um, but I don't, I just, the amount of fluoride that we're getting, I think is it's like a slow drip of it. It's horrible, and get rid of it if you can. And I wouldn't drink it out. Rather than drinking out the faucet, I'd just drink my own piss. But of course, leaving it out before putting it in is the best thing to do. But if you can't, there's ways to do it. Cilantro, I believe, will do it. Clays. Uh, Most of these things are for heavy metals and perhaps fluoride. I've always had because we've talked about this before. It's the amalgam that they make with the mercury. So they're putting the heavy metals with the mercury. So the mercury was first used with all sorts of things. It's used with gold in Ayurveda, and you eat that gold. And I'm eating gold. Yeah, eat gold, eat silver, eat mercury. It was all made it and used for all sorts of things. And then they started putting heavy metals in, and that became the problem. It's kind of like people saying that they have all sorts of digestion issues, and they have what is it called, gluten intolerance. When did that happen? Well, let's look at the time they started making silos and what they were making them out of, and then consider all of the heavy metals that are getting into the grains, that after years of breaking down, putting it into the grain supply, grinding it up and putting it in your food. And on top of that, they changed the conditioner for bread and they started putting bleach in it. So they started putting bleach in the bread and turning it white, and they put the conditioner from a alkaline to some other I forgot what the two conditioners they used were. Somebody probably knows it in here. They changed that, and then there's all sorts of heavy metals in breakfast cereals and all sorts of other things. And no wonder. Heavy metals do not function in the body. Although soft metals and noble metals seem to do something. Oh, hold on. I have to go grab a... Hold on, I have to go grab my control for the TV because it is going to do this. Okay, we're back. Oh, Angel, yeah. Zero water filter. It probably doesn't remove fluoride. Yeah, and if you're getting bottled water, just get distilled. The VOCs and the plastic that you're getting from is so minute compared and how bad it is for the body as an estrogen precursor and for plasticizing the body in comparison to the fluoride. Getting distilled water by the gallon is the way to go. So if you don't want to go, if you're worried about the electricity not working at some points and you have a water distiller, you're like, what am I supposed to do? Go buy gallons and gallons of plastic water, plastic bottles of distilled water. A gallon should last, with cooking and everything, like a gallon a person. But then you got washing and whatever else. But nonetheless, distiller is the way to go. And the pot distillers that seem to be, you can use anything beneath it. That seems like maybe the way to go. Distillation is the best method for removing things from the water, by far. Nothing else compares. There's all sorts of things you can filter. There's all sorts of great filters, including using clays and using different type of sands. There's ways of recharging the water with crystals and all sorts of stuff, and even using light, infrared light, or what are they using? Infrared? No, not infrared. They use the purple stuff to clean the water. But those are not going to remove the substances. There's a difference between killing the bacteria and killing bacteria is by boiling, but removing heavy metals or other things is only through distillation. What's up, Jeremiah G? Yeah. Citro juice. Are you saying like cilantro? Cilantro? Yeah, cilantro is really good for a lot of things. Well, you guys are speaking my fifth language that I don't know. I wish I would have oh yeah, what hey you know what? Wakey's channel got thrown off of the YouTubes. I've one of my first inlets into the spiritual realm was reading that dude's one of his first books he put out. See, the fear base of the 5G is simply this. If you have certain substances in your body, and I've heard it's graphene oxide and a few other things, that if you resonate the frequency of, like right now, there's all sorts of frequencies running through there no matter what. You don't escape it. It's there. It's all sorts of microwaves and different altitudes and wavelengths and frequencies, and it's there. We're not getting away from that. It's when they turn up the amperage on all of these things that they're putting the 5G out, that it can affect what's going on in your body. So that is a real thing. You can't. But if you don't put those things in your body, then the 5G will essentially have no effect on you. If you think of it very simple, if you're a piece of a crystal glass and you go to an opera, if you are, and she goes ah, and she breaks that glass, it will break you. But if you're not that piece of glass and you're not resonating at that frequency, it'll have no effect on you. So I think that's what people need to consider. It's not that people should be scared of 5G or 4G or 6G or 7 or 10 or 20 or whatever else networks and generations they're using, because it's irrelevant. It's how will it affect you if you're not if you're not interacting with it. It's like they tell you to be scared. Like, what do you? Should I be scared of polar bears? Yeah. What am I scared of polar bears for? I don't live in a climate where polar bears can exist. There's no polar bears here, and they couldn't exist here. So my fear of polar bears is zero. Zero. I think they're cute. If I met one, they might be mad dangerous. I don't know, but in my general scope of things, not going to affect me. So people need to that's I think the takeaway from that. And no, I don't think he's on some fear porn shit like that. Like, I think it's a fine line and a tiptoey line for people that are in the communities of, I don't want to say truther because that's not right, but because I don't think he is, and he's done silent fasts and he's high level, like, knows his shit, astrology, etc., etc. He's very, very knowledgeable, very intelligent cat. So it's a fine line for people that are of that type of level, where if you say one thing that seems to be in the realm of fear, that you're pushing that fear agenda. And where you have to go, well, no, I'm not giving you fear, I'm giving you should be aware. And by giving you aware, you give the person an option and an out. Here, 5G is a problem, but because of this. So if you don't do this, the 5G doesn't affect you. That's, I think, where other people are like, fear everything. They're gonna cook you. They're gonna fry your brains and da da da. Like, if the case is they're gonna fry your brains, they're gonna fry your brains. Like, it just, you can do nothing. You're gonna go stop the military with the handgun. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Oh no, Gary, I was no. I didn't think so. I was just playing with you. I was just like, I like reading shit like that, because then it gets me I know a couple of the words, and then I have to kind of, using contextual clues, kind of consider what it might say. Well, maybe they are. Maybe they're cuddly things. Although their fur is not actually furry. It's kind of like plastic. It's kind of like Okay, so ducks are soft, but if you take a duck thing, the thing that's holding the feather, that's their entire polar bear's body is basically that. The insulation is different. It's not like a big furry thing, but they might be. They might be nice. It's kind of like, if you ever see like brown bears, usually more aggressive, territorial, right? Black bears, I've seen old women be like, "Rah, get off my porch." They're huge, way bigger than old lady, but they're like little puppies. They're scared. Yeah, Angel, there you go. Yeah, it's that's the thing of, like, when you understand and see and have your roots in darkness and the soil and the earth, like, you can shine brighter. It's kind of like a light bulb. If you don't ground the light bulb out, it's going to it will either not work or it'll burn out real quick. Like you gotta, but once you ground yourself out and know like that the energy is in darkness. Like close your eyes and all of a sudden you can make a light and see something and have a dream or whatever. Like there you go. Like you're in darkness. Like how do you see? Uh, yeah, you could keep a savage beast calm, but you don't want. Yeah, that's. I think it just depends on how long you've. Um, I like watching people that have giant cats or giants, any animal, and they've had it since as a baby and fed it. That animal is not going to, you know, they're not fearing that. They wrestle with the bear, they'll wrestle with the tigers and lions, and there's zero fear because they already are on a vibe. Yeah, certainly there's some one-offs and whatever, but you don't know if that person was like electrocuting their tiger to get some. You don't know about all of that. I mean, go watch some videos. Go watch some videos of Indian like Indian people with a baby around a boa constrictor. They just let the baby. They're just sitting there talking, just hanging out. And little baby, oh, 8 months old, sitting on the ground, goes over and starts batting a boa constrictor in the face. But the snake plays with the baby, curls up around it, and the baby's just playing with the snake. And the baby has no fear, the snake has no fear, and the parents don't give a shit. It's not because they're bad parents or they're stupid. They already know. Everybody's all like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. Those people should be da da da. Like you don't know. You have no clue. What's up, Denise? Um, yeah, your guess I think would be right. I think the things that would work would be uh, like a rife machine, clay, cilantro, bone broth, urine. Those would be the three that I would go with because it would seem like the clay would be doing the most work because it's twofold of what it's doing. Ventilating clay, cilantro is going to be fine, but it's not going to. Yeah, cilantro's good for heavy metals, green things. Urine for a billion reasons, and if you can get a zapper, because if there is anything that could be, you know, uh, um, magnetic electric in there, then that will pulse it and destroy it. You never heard? That's so funny. I said the dot, not the feather. Yeah, I said that shit all the time. Oh, you say Indian. Well, which one? I mean, somewhat they're the same, but not really. They're close. They're close. Um, yeah, not the feather. You know what's funny? I've never considered that. Like, I wonder how their cultures would interact. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of people that you interact with feather Indian people, and you see kind of what the relationship is, right? And then what their ideas and their how they interact with the spirit nature and that realm and totems and how big they are and blah blah blah. And then the Indian people and their long history connected to certain other spirits and energies. I wonder what their like what that would look like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I hear you. Yeah, and you know what's funny is, yeah, but I've seen some kids that there's already seeded into them through their parents devil-like nature. And I don't mean I'm not clowning on the devil because I love the devil as much as anything. But the kid like just run after an animal, try to catch it, and like want to like hurt it. I know where that comes from. It has nothing to do with the child itself. But and then this other kid, I was out. It was crazy. I was out at this isn't parking. This isn't, my friend was going to get her nails done or something. So I was watching her kid, and walking around, and he, I don't know what it was. It was a moth, but it was a really interesting, pretty moth. And he just sees it, and he almost kicks it, and it flips over. It's just tiny, and he's like, but he's like a little kid, right? He's like 6, and he just stops and just bends over, and he picks up the moth. Moth didn't even do anything, and he's holding on to it, and flips it over. Moth just kind of just sits there, like nothing. It was really interesting. Moth had no fear whatsoever. You can't just catch a moth. I was like, is that a butterfly? Oops. Is that a butterfly? Ain't that funny? I don't know if you ever seen me play with cards before. I just sit here randomly shuffling cards, and I always pull out face cards. And it's a whole deck of cards, just so you guys know. And shuffle them. It's a really strange thing. It's happened for years. I would say about 90% of the time, if I just shuffle cards, blindly pull something out, it's a face card. It's a couple of times. I had some old stories that I told about some things that happened with the deck cards that were literally probably the most impossible thing that could ever happen. Yeah. It is strange. Anyways. Well, I wouldn't, Denise, I wouldn't say bone broth does anything better no, bone broth does not do better than urine. Bone broth is great, but you realize you're getting bone broth from another animal, while it already has that's so the bone broth that you're getting, the what your body, the white blood cells basically, but you're getting it from another animal. And great, it's just kind of like saying it's like honey and milk and bone broth are all what it's taken to make that, and there's much use for all three of them, but your urine is your urine, and it's of higher value. It already has your entire immune system and everything built into it. It's like it's your solution. If you were to build a perfect machine, you would put on board it everything that would fix it. So yeah, there's probably some things that bone broth might fix quicker. You pull out the aces? Yeah, I pull out aces, joker, and kings all the time. See? You think I'm playing? I don't know. It's really crazy. Just in there shuffling. I was like, or kings, right? There you go. There's no trickery going on here. Except for in New Orleans, whenever I'm doing this, people just go, no, you have a deck of cards and you're walking around New Orleans. You know what you're doing. And I'm like, I promise you I do not. Yeah. I mean, on the higher level, just because it's perfectly it's been in you. It's already knows. But it's like saying, if you needed a quick fix for something like maybe a cold or something, pineapple juice is going to have more of one thing in it that will clear up mucus and things, and tickle in the throat faster than the urine might. Although on a deeper healing level, pineapple juice is great for you, but then you start to get that you drink too much of it, it's so acidic and whatever. yeah, as good as pineapples are you a pineapple? Which is like when you look at food signatures, it's one part of your body blown up to a bigger, like, um, if you take any organ and it's got the same name or same size or figure, like the shape of it, it's usually the same. It's the same thing, but it like here, look, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's showing you, so it's directing its energy at that one thing. What's up, Lyric Sense? What are you doing? Uh-oh. I'm just dropping cards. That's the one I dropped. Of course. Told you, kings and jokers all the time. See, I don't see this to me. I do it infrequently. There's a deck of cards either somewhere. But this is not a daily thing. I've never practiced it as a meditation or a ritual. Only occasionally on here will I just start shuffling cards, just because it's, I don't know, something to do. But I normally don't. It's not like I'm not using it like mala beads, like a meditation. I'm not using it like it's just something. Yeah. Mm. It's so infrequent. Like I probably can't even shuffle a deck. I mean, I can bridge, but upside down. Let me see if I can even do it. Oh, there we go. Lyric Sense. Did I paint this one here? No. Both of these were. Both these I purchased. This one and this one. And that thing behind that was a gift. And I mean, both of these big ones, there's no way I could afford what they would have cost because they're huge. I mean, and both of them got delivered to me. Crazy, I don't know. Gifts, sort of. I mean, I paid for them, but no. Yeah, if you look at it from a distance, it does. To me, it's like an octopus. Basically, it's an octopus. But if you look at it from farther away, it looks to me like two eyeballs, and then a beard. And I mean, you'd have to look at it from a little farther away to see that, or maybe a little different lighting. Oh, Stan, thank you as always. Yes. If anybody wants to donate to me, because I still do have to pay for the lights and the phone and all this stuff. Cash App, PayPal, all that. And if you ever need help individually, one-on-one, Theo Luminous, TheoLuminous, Godlight at gmail.com. And yeah, you can, if you need help with something there. Again, Cash App, PayPal, TSAR, capital XEN. That's in the description box beneath. Oh, and Venmo too. And if anybody's got that crypto stuff, you can do it, I'm pretty sure, on Cash App and PayPal now. So people used to go, I'll give you a bunch of crypto. Well, you can do it there. Even though they didn't come through, but whatever. The Joker pops up the most. There you go. Just again. What's up, Divine Hazel? Yeah, it's interesting too, because like I mean, I know what it like. I know how a trick deck works, and I know that you can get a card that's a little bigger. I know you can get ones that you could read the back. I mean, I know that those exist, but it's not like I'm using those things. Especially the ones that the cards are a little different. Now, if you get really good at what I've heard, is you could feel the difference if you get really high vibes, you could feel the difference between, say, the coolness of a black card and the heat of a red card, and that comes off of somebody that has literally written a book on, well, that Don Tolman's work, and who can count. He could count a deck of cards. He could look at a deck of cards and then tell you what they all are in order. I can do that. I couldn't do it right now. It would take me too long to. It's just been a while. I could look at every card in the deck in order and then hand you the deck and tell you every card. But then there's other things you can do to like enhance your memory, and then how you could tactile touch something and feel what it is. You could feel almost, not necessarily like on these. There's no raised ink, right? But you could feel the heat off of it. It's being very sensitive to things. Anybody that's been sensitive to something, you know what happens. Why are you so sensitive? I don't know. To do a bridge? Oh, doing a bridge is a lot of fun. Once you get it is a cool, and whenever you get really good at it, and you can kind of get the cards to like back and forth, really like perfectly. And then you do or if you do, you can do it. Can you do them sideways? The sideways bridge. You need to have some nice cards for that. These are nice. You can do them this way. The sideways one. What else? What else? What else? Oh, and also, you guys, what's up, Rod? I could go grab a. I could go. I've done some of my earlier stuff. I was reading. There's a whole couple chapters in his book, Pharmacist Desk reference, and I have a book that he wrote just explicitly on cards. Very long, interesting history and its connection to the tarot and where they came from, and it's how to use cards to loci and memory recall and lots of cool stuff with cards. Except for I don't really I don't really use cards that often. It's not. It's kind of like I get into the idea of it, and then I just don't stick to playing with it. Formerly known as the. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's lots of names. Yeah, the little book of big books, the book of the law. I mean, there's lots of things that they're called. It's like originally this was like the Bible. Yeah. Hmm. Yep, yep, yep. Coffee time. Yeah, I think I could, if you want me to, I'll grab his book and I'll give you all the name. Well, not all of them. I think he uses like 40 names for what cards are called, which is really interesting. Like, no shit. And he always talks about too. Well, not always, but he explains how in tarot and in the deck of card, especially in tarot, they thought that the deck got smaller, and he just broke down and showed how no, it always it became more cards. There's a big history in that. You could destroy the last deck. Well, if you how about don't buy a deck, just put it out into the world, because cards, especially tarot cards, should be given as a gift. You should never buy them. You should buy them for other people and get them as gifts. But if you just put it out there, I mean, maybe you'll just find a deck of cards. Maybe you will. Perhaps. I think you could. That's not a lot to ask the universe for, a deck of cards. Ah, there you go, Rod. Yeah, you know what's up. There you go. You got the seasons, days of the year, you got the weeks. Yep. All that shit, man. It's a calendar. It's a lot of things, man. Burp God. Yo. What else? What else? Should I go grab? Should I grab? Do you guys want to know something about cards? Anybody else? I'll go grab the book. It's right there. I'll read you about cards. The history of. The history of. Told you I didn't pull out face cards. It just happens. Strange. That's why, like, when I first started playing with the with tarot, I would divide up the major and the minor arcana because I didn't want to read with the minor arcana. I just because it was like too much when somebody's like, "Hey, read." I was like, I'd rather just get the bigger overall energy of something. So I'll go get the book then. Ready? Here's what I just picked. Hold on. Oh, yes. Okay. Here you go, deck of cards. Where would it be? Make me look through here a different way. Oh shit! There we go. This is a huge chapter. Oh, I forgot. This is one of the biggest chapters in the book. It's called the Signum Natura. Many pages of this. Let me see if I can find. I'm not gonna read a lot of it, but I'll just jump through some stuff. So the 12 face cards over the 12 months of the solar year, the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 tribes of Israel. The two colors are the removal of life black and the regaining of life red. So it's also the solstice and the equinox. The 4 suits of the 4 seasons. The 13 cards in each suit is the lunar months. 52 cards of the weeks of the year. Let's see. If the numerical value of each card is added up, the aces valued as ones and jacks, queens, kings, counting respectively 11, 12, and 13, a total of 364 is obtained. Adding the joker makes 365 for 365 days in a year. If we add up the individual numbers contained in 364, 3 plus 6 plus 4, the result is 13, the number of cards in a suit, and a number of lunar months in the year. 13 values of each suit added together equal 91. 91 is the number of days in a season. Divided by 7, the days in a week, again, the number is 13. The numbers 7, 13, and 52 have been used of extreme importance to all cultures throughout human history. German. Okay, well, these are just the names of them, and then... Let's see here. As you can see, Janus, recall the past to see the future, as it becomes obvious that the ancient deck of 52 cards was very closely correlated with the calendar, the chronologies of solar and lunar measurements. The Wheel of Destiny declares man is the measure of all things. And so it is as the present work is an attempt to show the connection between the measure of the nature of time and the measure and nature of man. It was taught that life is in time, it was taught that life is in time, that no life exists out of time. Anciently, it was taught that the 52 cards hold the keys to the great work of a human enterprise. Let me try to find the names. Oh, here you go. The 52 cards are placed one on top of the other. Collectively, they are called of many names. The deck, the pack, the book, the stack, the house, the pips, the spinners, the spots, the ivories, the slates, the wheels, the stake, the circle, the set, the log, the rule, the pad, the bow, the bow load, the little Bible, the gypsy Bible, the eye, the bindle, the opus, the herd, the story, the band, the sight, the flock, the party, the tome, the bag, the hoard, the pile, the lot, the peck, and the kit, to name just a few. And also, the deck has been called the Wheel of Time, the Wheel of Law, the Wheel of Torah, the Wheel of Rhoda, the Wheel of Tarot, the Wheel of Heavens, and the Wheel of Life, the Wheel of Will, the Wheel of Fate, the Wheel of Destiny, the Wheel of Wheel Call, and the Wheel of Fortune, and also the Wheel of Opus. As taught throughout the books and oral traditions, the deck spins volumes of information into the minds of those who master the meanings of the workings, taking these workers of the cards from their operation and from the ignorance to enlightenment. The deck has been called the Book of Differing Names, and the titles as the Book of Nux, the Books of Lux, the Book of the Flux, the Book of the Crux, the Books of the Lumen, the Book of the Newman, the Book of the Truth, the Book of the Beauty, the Book of the Lies, and the Book of Thoth, the Book of Memory, the Door, and the Tarot, and the Path. The original 52 cards are thousands of years old. They are no doubt traced to their ancient historical roots in ancient Egypt. The original or classical deck has now grown to 78 cards in some circles of card usage. The additions were included some 650 years ago during the 13th century. The additional 26 cards were also divided into two different stacks of 13. Each were then added to the already present 4 stacks or suits of 13 each. 6 stacks of 13 each brought us a total of 78. The additional 26 cards were now, and to this day, graphically represented and mystically represent the 52 plus what we now call the 26 letters of the Roman alphabet. This is how it is tracked. 52 cards were extended as the Semites to include the 22 letters, totaling 74 cards. Then 2 more cards were added by the Greeks to correspond to their additional letters of the Greek alphabet. Lastly, 2 more cards were added by the Romans to correspond to their additional letters, hence a deck totaling 78 cards. I guess the letter makers got tired of thinking up new letters, since the 78 cards today known as the tarot and are modern extensions of the original 52 deck. And because dozens of books have been written about the spin or yarn of the tarot, we shall not address that here. Some very serious mental exhibitionists from some religious perspectives may have gotten bent out of shape when I say that the 78 card deck grew as an extension of the original 52. They would say it was the reverse, but think about it. The additional representation of letters, the letters as collected as a short form the pictures they represent, evolving into their present form and quantity over time. They grew from 7 letters to 13 to 22 to 24 and settled at 26. In other words, we didn't start with knowing how to write and inventing 26 letters, reducing to 24, then to 22, then 13, then to 7, and then hieroglyphic images. It was the other way around. The 52 cards are a numbering system of signs and symbols wherein the numerological concepts came first. Observe and development of children. Children learn numerical concepts to count long before they learn the alphabet. It is the same development process as that is the evolution of the collective human thought and communication. So you can have that for now. I don't feel like reading anymore. How'd you like that? Have you ever played a card game and what was the result? What do you mean, like, have I ever played at a casino? I'll read some more in a second. I just need anybody that's ever here. I start reading very fast because there's so much to read. So if you need to slow that down and put it on 0.75, go for it. You say, have I ever played a card game like with people, Stan? Or you just mean at a casino, like trying to win money or something? I played some cards. I played all sorts of card games, but not recently. I don't play much. This is this book. This big ass thing. And this is one half of the Pharmacist's Desk reference. And if you want just that part of it, you can go on Amazon and download. I would send you it, but the file is locked because when you buy it, it's expensive. Like the whole book is mad expensive. So I can't. I would send you. I could send you pages, but you could just go buy it on Amazon for PDF, and I think it's like a few bucks. I don't know. And that chapter is pretty big. So if you really want to know about cars, go do that. Of course, Divine. Let me go piss real quick. I'll be back. And then we'll talk more about cars or whatever. Yeah, if I told you about it before, that's what it's in. I look like a character from the Bible today. I'm not even wearing my giddy up, and my hair is all tangled up. I think more like the original archetype of Moses. You mean, or the second guy? Man, I want to go. I want to go outside today, but I can already tell it's gonna rain. I don't feel like messing with the ducks in the rain. It's too because I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna have to buy myself one of those little chairs, those little foldy chairs, just for your butt. Anyways, yeah, and I think I need to drink a lot more lemonade today, and vodka. Hey, today's lemonade and vodka day. What do you guys think? Zen lemonade and vodka. Good to see you, Rod. Yeah, cheers, man. There we go. Well, there was a time they wore the hats, right? Hold on, I guess that was after. It was after, but I'm rocking the hat today. It has a brim rather. Never. What did Carlin say? Never trust a group that makes you wear funny hats. If your religion requires you to wear a hat, you should probably skip that one. They have very sunny climates or sunny. Maybe both. Sunny. Yeah, the fish hat, the old fish god. What is it, the Dacon? The deacons, Dacon. I think it might have something to do with that. Fish tribes and all that. All right, Rod, enjoy, man. Stay well. Yeah, I will be. We'll see. I wanted. That's why I said I need to be drinking lemonade and some vodka today, because I'd eaten a bunch of garbage last night. I was eating like French onion dip and beans, and so my blood processes the stuff pretty quick. So when I pissed, it was like I was like, ah, I can't drink this right now. So I need to clean my blood with a little lemon and vodka. And then I'll drink my piss a little later. Yeah, that's what I just went and did. I was gonna drink my piss, and I was like, ugh, ugh. And also I was drinking coffee, so it's like this French onion dip coffee, and yeah, it wasn't Just wasn't feeling right. So hopefully the sun comes out, and then then I can at least be outside drinking lemonade and vodka, playing with ducks and talking to you guys. You stick with coffee? Yeah, I can only. Everybody here knows I'm at my limit for coffee. As you could tell, how fast I was reading that. If I read, if I drink any more coffee and try reading more of this book, it'll be like the Micro Machines guy. If I'm reading something, I can say it pretty quickly. Although it's funny, when I read to people, I can read pretty fast. But if I'm reading a book, I can't read fast. It doesn't work. What's up, Mr. Yuck? Ah, nice. So you do the morning one. See, that's hardcore. That's where you got to do it, because it's your body. It's already your plasma is processed through your body so many times during bed that that's your best medicines. But and also if you drink it later in the day, while it's a little more clean and pure, it will keep you awake longer. So for me, usually I don't drink. It's kind of like I don't drink coffee past noon, and I won't drink piss past 4. Because it just, I mean, if I'm going to go on a fast, obviously, but I mean, lower sugar in the blood, I think that probably would work. I've never done any of the sugar diabetes testing things. I'm sure that I probably at some point was quite diabetic. Probably when I played sports, but because I was drinking so much water, it kind of eliminated the fact that I was also drinking 40 cans of soda a day and eating sugary garbage foods. Like, and now I kind of notice whenever I do eat something sugary, and I kind of notice like a spike in blood sugar, I kind of notice the feeling of it. That lemonade and vodka tend to clean that out of me. I don't know. Seems like it'd work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, B Johnson. Hmm. I'll do some research into that. I mean, most things that are bitter just mean there's certain types of alkaloid present. Um, so those alkaloids could be somewhat psychedelic, and some of them could be antiparasitic. But I don't know what those would be specific chemicals, and I don't know. I don't know off the top which what chemicals those would be and what kratom has. Hmm. Interesting. I'll do some research. I'll do a little research into that. Uh, Eating a licorice stick, they say, is beneficial for your health. Yeah, it is. Licorice sticks, licorice roots, um, and what's the other one? Marshmallow and licorice is good for getting rid of if you nicotine, people that have nicotine problems, and also it's good for your blood sugar too. Licorice root, chewing on that is good for your blood sugar. I'm pretty sure, or marshmallow root. Because I have both the roots and I've used them for. I just did the research years and years ago, and I forget which one's which. But yeah, licorice root is really good for you. Baking soda to lower acidness in the blood sugar. I suppose that's probably one of the what it does. See now, I have it's between. So you got your baking soda that you could use, and you've got hydrogen peroxide. And so my only question is what's going on as soon as it goes into the stomach, right? So there's the stomach acids, and it's going to try to balance out pH there. Still will have an effect on the blood. I can't really, other than people saying that it's helped them with cancer and things like that. I don't really know what it does specifically. Again, because I've never done any tests for myself on the blood sugar levels. It seems like it would do something. Hmm. I'll say see a couple questions. I can try to dig into a couple answers there. Yeah, look into marshmallow root. I think marshmallow root might be. I think the size of the glucose in it. See, this is me just I don't quote me on any of this because it's been so long. I think it's the sugars in the marshmallow root might be good for blood sugar, and the licorice. I think the chemicals in it is good for people that have addiction to nicotine. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Ah, Mr. Yuck, I didn't know about the stool loosener, but yes, it's a neutralizer. It seems like a neutralizer. Oh, see, now whenever I say licorice, I'm not talking about like a licorice stick. Like, like, or excuse me, I'm not saying like licorice like a candy. Right? I'm saying like the root itself, licorice root. Not a piece of black licorice. I mean, if you can find there's some good black licorice root candy that is just licorice root and sugar, and that's awesome stuff. I forget who makes it, but yeah, just the root itself. In fact, you probably put the two together, just the two roots. Some marshmallow licorice, and I've actually made marshmallow. If you never have, I've made marshmallow. If you've never made a marshmallow or had an actual marshmallow, like you go to the store and you get the puffy marshmallows? No. If you've ever been to a candy shop that makes marshmallow, oh man, it's totally different. The texture is different. It's a little more dense. And the taste is a little different. Add a little vanilla and maybe a little bit of licorice to it. That'd probably be pretty dope. Let's see, about noon. Let me see. Hold on. B. Johnson, mint to get rid of mice. That makes sense. I've heard of a few things. Salts, mints. Salt is good for for bugs, ants and stuff. Mint, hot peppers. It's pretty much the same thing that would work outside of your body, or would work inside of your body, would work outside of your body. Yeah, see see that isn't that interesting too. Lemons, despite being acidic, neutralize stomach acid. See, then there's a couple things like that that go against what you'd consider logical common sense. So the acid neutralizes, as well as, and think about it this way: the people that have um, stomach problems, two things that will help are lemon and cayenne pepper. People that have heartburn or stomach issues, lemon and hot pepper. Oddly enough, some of it has to do with like what the vitamin C is doing. Other of it is it just I don't know exactly how the capsicum works, but capsicum. Denise, go to the website called. You probably just go to Amazon. Most anything that I first source, I'll just go to Amazon and see what they have, and then see if I can find it somewhere else. But Amazon's so easy, so cheap, and you can return shit if you get it quick. You can return it if it's a problem, and there's usually more than one seller. But if you want to go to like a direct source, I would go to. Um, why am I tripping on the name of it? It's give me a second. Mountain Rose Herbs. Mountain Rose Herbs. It's huge, huge, huge. They have everything is like Oregon tith and organic and this and that, and they have all the good stuff, like all the good stuff. Like everything there, they have all of the fun things you can think of. Some of it is a little overpriced, but most of it you can find things that you've like, oh my gosh, I just heard about this herb and they have it like, and you get it in like ounce or quarter ounce. Or then if you order enough of stuff, if you order like X amount of pounds, you get discounts. And everything is super high quality. Whenever I used to make tinctures years and years ago, that was a source. Mountain Rose herbs. And also the root, you can get it ground. You see, like, you can also get the root, or you can get it ground. So you can get it different ways. Or they'll actually, you can buy the tincture from them. But obviously it's way cheaper to just get it and do it yourself. Apple juice, cayenne, lemon. Yeah. Yeah, there's some things that well, there's some things that I've put in my stomach, like I'll drink a limeade with blah blah blah. And I thought it was my stomach, and it was not. It was the gurgling was almost certainly my gallbladder or my liver, probably gallbladder, because I could just feel. I thought, was, is it my stomach doing that? And like I could tell because of what came out of me. It was definitely more bile oriented. What's up, Skull? Yeah, so I'll say it again if everybody didn't get that. Just let me know that you got it. Mountain Rose herbs. That's about the best source. You're getting directly from the source. You're getting from it's from the fields that it's either coming from them growing it, or they're getting it from a pretty good source. You know what I mean? Um, Everything else, you can find a little Chinese herbal shops. You can go to like an international store, perhaps. International stores, you can usually get a lot of cool things for cheap. Raw almonds and all sorts of interesting little things that you're like, wow, this is so much cheaper here. Um, yeah, and it depends. Like like depends on where you live. Some places it's hard to. Interestingly, up until recently, finding an herb shop or a apothecary type place in New Orleans was really hard. So you'd assume like this place is magic, voodoo, and da 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 da. Everything's like in the corridor, and it's kind of like directed towards like here's some incense, and here's some crystals, and here, but there wasn't any like herb shops. You had to like, they were like down some little somebody's house in the corner in the whatever. You had to know where they were. So only recently I've been able to find any that are cool. Do I eat meat and fish? Yeah, I eat whatever I want. I mean, with that being said, as everybody here, I'm pretty sure is well aware, I've done plenty of videos on why it is probably best to eat fruits. And it depends on where you live. And I was vegetarian for a very long time. I don't know, 7 to 10 years. I don't remember how long. And just where I live and everything else, and I eat what I eat. I don't. I try not to overdo it. I'm not like, but yeah. Especially, I mean, if I had my druthers, I probably would only eat meat once in a while. Like I would probably stick to a pretty fruit forward diet and fish occasionally. I'd probably eat fish a few times a week, but cost wise, like right now, I can't really, like, if I want to eat. Well, my diet my diet has changed over the years. Yeah, pine pollen. Yeah. Well, pine pollen, like a lot of things, it's make sure you get fresh stuff. Pine pollen, I used to use it. Yeah, very good stuff. I definitely felt an effect from using it. It's like there's like there's the ant stuff. There's pine pollen. There's a bunch of different really interesting herbs that are kind of new. They're kind of basis for TCM and some Ayurvedic stuff. But yeah, pine pollen's great. How often should one eat fish and meat? I'd say it's very, Stan, I think it's very climate oriented. It's very much where you live oriented. See, there's the rain. You heard that? Um, Obviously, if you lived on an island and you got too much animals there, and you got fruit trees and fish, that's gonna be your diet, right? I think that healthy amount would probably be living in a standard climate. Like if you just had like somewhere not quite tropical, maybe you have the seasons. I don't know, a couple times a week, maybe once. I would probably eat meat once a week. Just like if it was so like a thing, like a weekend barbecue. Okay. But I mean, I think most of the week I would stick to fruits and or that whatever whatever chocolate. And I'd probably eat fish during the week. Oh yes. Oh yeah, yeah. See, like sushi, yeah, that's really not a lot of fish. The main constituent of sushi is pretty much good rice. Like it's like if you ever watch any documentaries about people that work in sushi restaurants, like good ones, you have to know how to make perfect rice first. That's your job for a long time because the rice is it's got to be the correct. This much of the you have to wash it properly. This much of the vinegar, this much, a little bit of sugar, perhaps, depending on the place, right? And it's you got to make perfect rice. I mean, obviously the fish. You're gonna then you get to the point. You're gonna go to the market. You better figure out what kind of fish, which fish is it? And then once you perhaps figure that out, I might teach you how to cut it because you don't want to ruin it. I never knew about the pine pond beer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love sushi, but it's funny. I haven't had sushi in a long time, and I think it was either Stan or somebody just gave me some dollars. Maybe I'll get some sushi today. You know what? You guys have encouraged me. I have a few extra dollars. I'm gonna have sushi delivered today. That's my meal. And because wasabi is so good, even though wasabi, if you don't know this, most places ain't giving you wasabi. Wasabi's expensive, and it's not as hot. So what they use now is they use horseradish and perhaps some food coloring and something else. Still good. I still like horseradish, but actual actual wasabi is not. It's a different flavor. Yeah, the chocolate diet's where it's at. Sushi is expensive. I used to go to a lot of sushi happy hours, where sushi's I mean you're getting the normal rolls. You're getting like California roll, this or that, crunchy salmon, whatever. But because cheap beer, so go there, cheap beer, cheap sushi, spend $20 and be perfect. Yeah, that's where it's at. But I don't really. I much prefer to go and eat sushi fresh there and not get delivery. But it's raining and the closest good sushi joint is too far away. But sushi it will be. And seaweed salad is pretty dope. Or octopus salad. Well, that's more Greek, I guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where are you from? That sushi is expensive where you are? I mean, what do you mean by expensive? Like, what are we talking here? Are we talking like that's fine dining? France? So there's no good fish. France doesn't have like a there's no fishing industry. Like there's no water there. I see. I don't know. I'm off the top of my head. I don't. Are you not doing trade with any of the other countries that might have fish? Or do they do a French influence, French cuisine cooking style on what they're doing to sushi, which is interesting because in New Orleans it's French Creole, and some sushi places, some fish places, you'll find that they do a little bit of New Orleans French-esque cooking to it. Yeah, because here it's not that expensive, and I don't. Funny enough, I don't really overeat sushi. Like a lot of people, like I can eat a lot of sushi. I don't really like sashimi, like just the straight sashimi, like uh, white tuna or fatty tuna. Toro. If you ever had toro, 50 or 60 euros for a kilogram. So that means, okay, 50 or 60 bucks is like 80 bucks here. And so you say like a kilogram? You mean like that would be like enough food for you? Because like I'm saying like a roll here, a roll is $6, $6 American. If I was gonna eat enough for me, it would, I might spend. You get a bento box for $10, which is a roll, perhaps a roll and a half, and a little salad, some miso soup, and maybe some tempura. Oh man, that's a kick right in the genitals, man. So you guys, that's like a whole thing. And if you take somebody out for sushi, that's a date. That ain't a first date. Hold on, right back, y'all. I told you we mixing up drinks today. We getting in there. Okay, so let me. Okay, so you see, you do see the math. The math doesn't really link up. 100 gram serving. Yeah, so that's like trying to think about this. But you're just saying for fish, like to go to a fishmonger, like to a fish market, which is still expensive for fish. For a good fish, $10 a pound. So 16 ounces. I don't know the exact ratio measurements, but a kilogram is like what, 1.6? 1.6 to a pound, about that. So 1.6 pounds is a kilogram. Is that right? It's still mad expensive. So a serving I guess would be like a quarter of a pound. They don't want the peasants to eat the good stuff. Is that thunder? That is thunder. That's why I told you. Like it could thunder here for the next hour, and it's been doing that. Which so it's not a normal thing. It'll just thunder like a lot, and it won't rain. Or it's maybe raining across town. It could be, but 36 ounces is a kilogram. So 16 ounces. So basically 2 pounds is a kilogram. That sounds a little? Is that right, Skull? Did you look that up? Cause I'm thinking of like in weight form. If I was lifting weights, 100 pounds or 100 pound, if 160 kilograms is 100 pounds. Is this not right? Because that seems, whatever. It's about that. 1 to 2, 1 to 1.7, something like that. 2.2. Oh, it's 2.2. There we go. I was off. I don't know. I was using a different ratio there. So it's 2.2. That's right. Uh huh. Let's go. I got you. Yeah. Luckily, I grew up in Murica, and we just dealt with grams, ounces, and QPs. Yeah, so anyway, we break down the math. The point of the story is that fish and sushi is kind of expensive in France. That's what we've come to conclude. And you've all made me quite you've helped me decide that I'm going to have a bento box for lunch. And if it wasn't raining, I would consider going out to eat. But I'll get delivery. And that way, it'll give me a little bit of a break here. I'll get delivery, and I can have lunch with you guys. But I guess for you, most of you, you all up in you all euros. But it's got to be. What's it like dinner? Dinner time for y'all? Past dinner, I don't know. What time y'all eat? 7 p.m. 6 p.m. Yeah, interesting. A lot of the aspects of culture in New Orleans is we don't eat early breakfast. We eat dinner late. Um, I guess it'd be like more, a lot of other cultures. They're eating they're eating tapas or eating dinner when the sun goes down. They're not going out until later. Where you go some places, they're getting dinner at 5 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock off work and eating. Fruits, nuts, and cane sugar. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like honey. I like honey with ginger. I do like a honey. Well, I would probably mix up sugar and ginger, and have like a simple syrup. Mix it with honey, and put down fruit. Maybe a little bit of yogurt. Yeah, 8 o'clock. See, most people like in the U.S. No, they're eating at 6 or earlier because they got to get to bed. They got to get up and get their ass to work by 6 a.m. Not in New Orleans though. No. Much different hours of operation. England. That's another. Yeah, I guess that's what they gave America. Terrible eating. Terrible habits eating. English food. Popular narrative is the food sucks. I'm pretty right about that, right? I've seen some of the food, and it just seems awful, tragic. You're like, no, it's really good. And like, people from like, no, you got to try it. It's the greatest. Like, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, hey, Skull, I'm maybe not. They're going to work at 6. You know what I mean? Because they got to get on the expressway, parked, get to office. But I mean, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Uh, was that who's that poet? Bukowski said, "Who in their right mind wants to get woke up every day by an alarm clock blaring it, you know, to go off and do a job they hate?" Well, check it out. Speaking of time to do things, let me let me order some lunch. Let me do sushi today because you guys encouraged my sushi habit, which I don't really have a habit of, but I do desire some sushi, and maybe I'll be back on here in a little bit. Maybe I'll just order that and then come back on in like an hour, and I have something else to talk about. Yeah, Bukowski. What a goof. What a goof he was. Huh? So thanks for showing up, guys. As always, if you need help with anything one-on-one, health related or otherwise, theoluminous, gmail.com, TheoluMinous. And if you want to give me $1 or something, or put a couple bucks towards me eating sushi, you can do that. Cash App, PayPal, and all the rest, and I do appreciate it. And how do I cope with the madness? I'm doing this, listening to music, you know, having a drink. Mm. I try to find the others, as it were. Yeah. So yeah, everybody have a swell evening, a wonderful day. Be weird, be yourself, and if you can, help people out, and if you can't, take care of yourself. Um, I'll talk to y'all soon. Stay goofy. Toodles.